What's going on, beautiful people? Today we are ADG in Austin, Texas for this beautiful thing. Houston. Oh, I'm keeping that in. So this is Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff is pretty much in charge of this whole gallery you can see here. Is that right, Jeff? It's fair to say?
That's true. Yeah, this is kind of my focus.
And I've got a full tour of everything. It's absolutely incredible. You guys have to see it. But for this video in particular, we're focusing on this hardscape only tank. So Jeff, tell me a little bit about the concept of this, because it's vastly different to what I usually do with my full planted systems that just kind of look after themselves.
Right. So, the hardscape only design is something that I came up with a long time ago. I mean, in terms of defining it as sort of a separate category unto itself. And of course, it just started with, I'm about to do a classic planted layout and I'm just at the rock and wood phase, and I'm thinking, okay, wait, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so, it just really opened up a lot of opportunities for fish we might not normally keep with
Why
plants
not?
and this sort of thing.
Why not? Why some of these fish with plants?
I think most of the fish in here, most of them you could. There's some that could get into problems with some digging, like we've got these warus that are now spawning. Got the cute little babies that are making it in here.
And it's funny because the babies look so different to the parents.
Right. Yeah, I've been kind of wondering at what point they convert or kind of transition to being more like the parents. But
so how old are these babies at the moment?
We're actually into several months now, and they still hang out with the parents. Some of them even still kind of feed off the body slime.
Yeah.
And so it's a fish I've never had spawn in an aquarium before. So this has been a learning experience for us too, as far as like what we're gonna do, how fast they grow. No, it's been really, really cool actually. But you can see they like to, dig. This is another pair over here.
Oh yeah.
You get all this digging.
Look at the size of this tank. Look. Not only got great height and width and sort of length, it's also got this massive thickness to it as well. And as you come in the shop, like it's on its own in the middle, and I think it's just instant draw, isn't it? It's so cool. And like when you're stood here, it's like a thing in itself. So beautiful. But yeah, like you say, there's this new pair down here. Look what they've done to the sand. I bet that pains you, didn't it, Joe?
To be honest, it is a little bit. It's not my favorite kind of natural behavior, but they're obviously very happy in here. That pair has spawned also. Unfortunately, I think the babies got eaten up by the other fish, but which
actually makes me so surprised that the other ones have done so well. It's like maybe the parents kept them in a certain area that was more protected or something.
Obviously something going on with that, because I think it's the babies grow very slowly.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this is probably 6-9 months now, and that's the most growth that we've seen from them. They still hang out with the parents, so kind of an instinct to observe for sure. As an installation style, this is also very popular for us with our installation clients.
Yeah.
Because, people want a beautiful aquarium.
Yeah.
And in my view, that can be a huge spectrum of styles and approaches and philosophies.
So what actual material is the wood that we're seeing here, Jeff?
Yeah, this is, we just came up with the name Texas Select.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't something that was previously available in the hobby. And so it is a red cedar.
Okay.
And it's actually collected here in Texas. Now, it was non-native, and I'm guessing like, over 100 years ago, from the different stories I've heard, it's something that was brought in for some sort of flood control or some kind of land management purpose.
Right.
So as often happens when humans bring in non-native things, it became totally invasive, grew out of control. And now it's almost funny that these ranchers and landowners around Texas will practically pay you to come get it off of their property. And so we're
not knowing how much you actually want it.
Right. And so, you'll be out there digging around for good pieces in literally fields as far as the eye can see.
Wow.
And you find an amazing piece and you're like, wow, check this out. And if the landowner sees this, like, he definitely thinks you're totally nuts and out of your mind. Because this has become a huge nuisance for them. So it's a hardwood, so while it is buoyant for a pretty good while, it is very slow to like break down or get really soft. And so we've had this in, aquariums obviously under the water for into the years. I mean, years and years, and it's performed really, really well. So very fortunate to have that as a local resource.
And how big is this tank? How many liters is it?
Here's I would have to convert for.
Tell me in gallons so I can put it up.
Gallons were about 720.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Because it isn't just what you're seeing here. There's a system underneath, which we'll get into. Mike's just feeding the tank now. What are you feeding there, Mike? It's a pellet, yeah?
Yeah, it's a pelleted food. It's just a sinking pellet. Kind of a multi-purpose food. But you'll see that, we've got quite a collection of different Plecostomus species.
That flashback.
There's a flash, there's a clown, Echoltia. There's some various types of cactus plecos.
I've got 2 flash myself. I love them.
There's also an Adonis. I forget the name of this guy.
Whoa. Oh, is that the Adonis?
No, that's not the Adonis. The Adonis is large. When they're juveniles, they're black with white polka dots on them, and they're famous for having these incredibly long streamers.
You've got to be quick in this tank, haven't you?
Yeah. Then if you catch it, also too, if you catch it from the other side, there's a whole group that some migrate over here to feed, then some go to the other side.
I'm seeing the cories now that I didn't see as well. Which ones are these?
This guy over here.
Duplicarius, yeah?
With the spots back in there.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what that one is.
There's just so many names, isn't it? It looks cool.
Yeah, that's where the area is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's going. You've got to be quick. You've got to be quick for these guys. Literally, I earlier on, I did not know that there was any cories in here. Oh, they're so cool. Stand out massively on this sand as well. And this is just such a great example of a fish tank that really does show off the fish. And that's why I'm loving this. I'm loving this style. So this is absolutely beautiful cabin like that, but it's hiding some stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Some pretty intense stuff. Very different from my even tiny little filter or no filter at all. I mean, look at the size of this pump. We need scale it. It's massive. And all that pipe work as well, and ball valves and the sump. So is there a name for this kind of sump or anything, or is it just a sump?
Pretty much, yeah. Gone are the days, really. It used to be kind of a wet dry. You had the water trickling over bioballs or some kind of other biomedia. That's a lot less common these days.
What's that called again? Trickle filter.
Trickle filter, wet dry filter, this kind of thing. And these days, that has sort of fallen out of favor. And
is it
now
more efficient? Is that why?
It's more efficient, and it's really just designed. We need to move the water through the biological filtration.
Yep.
And on a large aquarium like this too, having that overflow box is
so this
really vital.
Section,
yeah.
Which is why it's blacked out, is the overflow from the top. But that's also the return as well, isn't it? But then over here, there's 2 more returns, right?
That's correct. So those 2 are actually coming from the Eheim canisters, which you see on the other side, and
so the back there's the 2 massive ones. We'll get around there in a second.
But we used to just, the traditional ways to come off of the overflow.
Yeah.
But we run an additional line to each corner here.
Interesting.
And this way we're pushing that water back, because we did used to have a problem with down here. You get a little swirl where the surface is clear, and then you got a little buildup of a film.
Yeah.
Oily film, biofilm, whatever.
Which is your massive pet hate.
Well, I can deal with it in some ways, but in an aquarium like this, we're viewing it, looking up. You're going to really see that. And
look,
it's also going to balance the shimmer. So there's not all the shimmer would be just where the agitation is.
Yeah.
So here we have the whole surface being creating the shimmer by way of that agitation, so it really balances that out.
Pushing everything back to the overflow.
Yes.
It's also so these jets are pointing down.
Little added circulation
they use it,
that way.
They are on.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're pushing down that way. Then you've got this one that way. So you are gonna get that sort of rotation, aren't you?
moving it through the hardscape too. And but yeah, this is all about just keeping that kind of almost like flowing river kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely. And it does. Look at,
on the
like,
surface.
when you're under here, it literally, you can imagine being underwater. I mean, I know you are, but it doesn't look like an aquarium when you're like properly into it.
Right.
Love it.
All part of the effect because of the scale,
Yes.
where you stand and see it and all that.
Let's come around this side.
Sure.
And just nice and easy, completely out of the way. So look, what I don't even know what I'm looking at, Jeff. We turn this up a bit. So what's that?
Yeah, that is a sand filter.
Oh, okay.
That's just going to be a lot. That comes more from the pool industry, but now they've been used. You'll see them used often in outdoor ponds.
Yeah.
This kind of thing. So it's just giving you some additional biological area.
So is that a pre-filter or post, or is it first? Is it the first thing?
You know, that's a good question. Actually, Mike could probably give you a better sense of that.
It doesn't really matter when it is. It's just part of the process.
That's right. And it's also giving us a nice polish.
Yeah.
It's really helped minimize the particulate. Just one more layer in there that we found on a big aquarium like this.
Yeah.
Lends to that really crystal clear water. And of course, you know, your surface area for good bacteriological filter is going to be beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got the
So
two...
this stocking, there's the bigger fish, it's going to be a lot of waste, there's a lot of feeding, so, you know, although they've got all that hardscape, it's not going to compare to the amount of stuff you've got going on down the bottom, is it? Especially those bio balls, I guess, as well.
Absolutely. You can see, I mean, that is, a lot of fish with nice full bellies. That's a good amount of food to feed everybody. So you need a robust system, obviously, to manage that much water. And at the same time, you know, we're trying to keep it clean and efficient under here. You know, we want to create a system that we could easily replicate in a client setting or as a custom installation.
Because I should explain that the whole point of this being here is an example for clients to have in their own home, as is with everywhere in the gallery. It's not like mine, which is purely for creation.
Sure.
This is examples.
That's right.
So that people can see what it's going to potentially be like in their home. And it's little details like this lighting at the bottom, just a LED strip, but it really does, I don't know, it just takes it to that another level.
Sure.
And your cable management is insane as well.
Yeah, we've, you know, just learned the value over the years of having that be tidy and well labeled. And, you know, we don't want to be reaching under and having to unplug things.
No.
I've gotten really into anytime I can put a little switch on a plug, even on my canisters, to turn that off and on real easily right there at the plug, as opposed to trying to pull the thing out of the power strip is useful. So it's got a automatic top off as well.
I was wondering what that was.
Top off reservoir. Obviously with that sump, we like to keep that water level
that's
very consistent.
So how long would this last before you got to top up the top up?
We're filling it up once a week, but after a week, it's down. You know, there might be an inch of water left in there. So
that's all right though. Easy to do.
Very easy.
And the water you use RODI remineralized, yeah?
Yes, actually, this aquarium does get full RO.
Full.
Yeah. So it's not uncommon. We've got other styles. One I think we'll actually be taking a look at a little later. That's a client installation of a similar theme, and they've just used tap water. They have phenomenal fish. It's been very, very successful. But in here, because we started with the Ultim Angels, we really kind of wanted to cater to them, and so we just started using the RO. You know, we've got it here. It works. We do obviously remineralize it appropriately, but I wouldn't say that, you know, all these fish could acclimate to a tap water source just fine too.
Yeah, you're just going above and beyond, aren't you, really?
Yes.
Can we just quickly show them the RODI system, because it correlates?
Sure, absolutely.
Because obviously you need a lot of RODI for a setup like this. Let's go and have a look.
This does get a weekly water change.
So this is like the store area out here. This will all be in the full tour video, so you can go and click that. But in here, this as well. All right.
This is where the water's being made in there.
Yeah.
It's this pure ready to use RO water. And we fill and drain this pretty much on a daily basis.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's have a look inside the brains.
Not your typical tropical fish store RO system.
It's quite loud. Hopefully you can still hear me, but there's all sorts of different things going on here. It can be cooled, it can be heated.
That's right.
It goes through multiple stages of...
Would be the DI or RODI or RODI. This is the DI polished resins here.
And what's this part?
Yeah, so this is where we mix up salt water, about 200 gallons a day. This is all piped out to our service vehicles that they fill up, and then they can pump the water from the van into the client tank for the water channel.
So yeah, because we should also point out, how many tanks are you guys maintaining around Texas at the moment?
That's right. So, I mean, just here in the greater Houston area, we have, we're a little over 700.
Crikey.
And, you know,
How many employees?
25.
Crazy. And how many vans?
Vans,
Circa.
I think we're up to 12,
Crazy.
13, something.
This is nuts. The scale of it is so brilliant as well. But more on that later on. But yeah. Right, let's go back to the tank. But what's quite interesting as well, we've got more hardscape only this way. I think I should show that in the video as well, because it translates, doesn't it? Did this come, this is most recent though, yeah?
Yes, because this one was, we actually had the same here for years, 10 or 12 years. And that tank we had acquired from a manufacturer that's no longer in business. But it was cracked, and it was actually cracked off the bottom for some years.
Really?
But because of the bottom, it wouldn't.
It in.
But it required a very special technique. Every night we would have to hook up a special drain hose.
Right.
In case it did start leaking, the water would drain anyway. So we replaced the entire system and just did a lot of upgrades and really kind of modernized the whole thing. So I think we're right at about a year here on this particular new tank and this new layout, and enjoying it.
Let's come over and have a look at something. It's because it's class. So this here, here comes Mike as well. You can't get away. No, come on, where are you going? Where are you going? So this is Mike, co-owner as well, brother of Jeff. Yep. So this is an interesting one, isn't it? Because it goes into the office as well as from the outside.
Yeah, and it's kind of, and actually too, what's kind of unique is how it even kind of bisects the wall.
Yeah.
So normally in a built-in, you know, we'd just be standing in one room, and then just, you know, you'd have it framed out and cut into the room, and just where you're viewing as if it's picture framed in.
Yeah.
But we worked with an architect that kind of had this unique idea to where it floats out, so it gives you several different viewing perspectives on here. This one divides my office, and as many of you may know, that I'm a huge fan of Tanyican cichlids from Lake Tanganyika, and kind of a nice Iwagumi kind of rock layout here designed for the cichlids. But yeah, it's one of my favorites.
It's brilliant. It's going to be lots talking about it.
Fantastic.
In the tour. And then next to that awesome Irigumi style without the plants,
Right.
which I think is wicked. I'm getting more and more into it. Anyway, over here, this is one of the oldest tanks, isn't it?
Yes, this one's been running for, I lose track, but some years now.
Go in front of it for me, Jeff, just so I can see, so we got that scale.
Sure.
So what is it, 9 foot? And this, again, look.
936.24.
But this is different again, because of the dimension, you have really got that sense of a flowing river. And the way the fish behave as well, because they're zipping backwards and forwards.
We try to kind of lean into the linear feel of the tank with, you know, a fish that shares that sort of shape. All the different barillas here are really cool. They've really seemed happy for, I can't remember the last time we lost a fish.
It's dialed in now, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And again, look at the lighting level. So as I'm showing it now, is how it is, you know, the camera tries to compensate and bump up the lighting sometimes, but I've got it manually set, so I'm showing you guys the actual level of these sort of tanks, because if you stick real bright lighting on there, first of all, the fish are probably gonna be like, what's going on?
They're not crazy about it. Yeah.
And second of all, there's going to be algae all over the wood. There's just no way around it.
That's right.
So you got to find that level. Obviously in a mature tank that's a lot easier, but even from the start though, just play around. If you're getting algae, I'd say the first thing you need to look at is your lighting levels.
For sure. Couldn't agree more.
even if you've got a high stocking, like if you get those lighting levels correct, you're not going to have a ton of algae.
Yeah, you may have a little cloudy water. You may need to clean the filter more often, but you know, it's going to require that light to have an algae problem.
Yeah,
I think long term. But you know, and it's a style too that, again, you could easily see how you could integrate plants into this layout. I mean, it could be done,
and it would look great.
It would, yes. That's the essence of the hardscape style. You know, a couple of things. I mean, number one, it's just another style of composition-based aquarium. Two, you could always add plants if you wanted to. But, you know, I love this idea of this kind of home studio vibe you've been seeing more and more of.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of going, I love plants. I've got plants all over. My whole life is with plants. I'm so close and passionate about plants, but, you know, this is just a different kind of aquarium keeping experience that I think the more we can learn to kind of view it as a category unto itself, I think it opens up another level of enjoyment that's not at the expense of keeping plants. Please have 5 fully planted aquariums in your space, and maybe a hardscape or 2, because it wouldn't be adding that much maintenance to the equation either. And it's just a way to enjoy these natural elements and fish in a different kind of way. So
just being here has massively inspired me to do it more myself, with a touch of Anubias here and there, you know. So,
sure,
because I don't know if I could go full hard.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Get it, yeah.
So some people might be thinking with all of these tanks, well, you know, you need to put the plants in, the fish want them. That's not actually the case, is it? The plants are really for us a lot more, aren't they? Because
it's true.
For their environment.
That's right. That's right. I mean, they're, for one, the scale here, you know, the water quality that we're able to maintain, the proximity to more natural conditions, being such a large body of water that's not fluctuating a lot. Some of the good things that plants would do in a smaller aquarium are, you know, balanced out in other ways in a large aquarium. And then beyond that, I mean, frankly, where a lot of these fish come from, this is much closer to where you would find them, especially in South America when you get into the more tannin waters, and you'll just have these tangles of wood, some scattered stones, perhaps sandy bottoms. So when you say Amazon, you're talking about a huge area and a lot of different biotopes and settings, but it's not at all uncommon to find, especially with your larger cichlids and such, you know, them in areas that, let's just say it is not an underwater garden. There may be some scattered plant matter, but
and the edges of the river maybe,
right.
But further out it's going to be
for sure. So this is still a natural aquarium. This is takeaway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could almost, if it was like an open top and shallower, you could do more stuff near the surface.
Absolutely.
Up here coming out.
Absolutely.
And then keep it still that hardscape only as you progress down. That might be.
That's actually a really cool idea. I mean, for sure. And
2 in 1.
You got it. And get you even closer to, you know, something more biotope-like.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
I might do that. I might do that when I get back. It's going to be the new thing.
There you go. There you go.
Love it. Well, thank you very much for showing me this tank. And yeah, it's been great. If you guys are interested, there's so much more coming, and there'll be a playlist for all the stuff in ADG as well. So cheers, guys.
Cheers.